Shark review. This is The Shallows, released in 2016. Full-on movie by Columbia and everything. Full-on shark movie. Yeah, full-on shark movie I'm actually looking at. Let's just get right into this. It's a real serious movie.
So the plot of The Shallows follows this young blonde woman who is a medical student who is basically going on vacation in Mexico to a secret beach. She just wants to go surfing and have a nice time. Well, this shark shows up in the cove and kind of ruins everything. Even though the story sounds really generic and easy to understand, this movie does a really good job of portraying everything. The main girl's character development is second to none. She is just fantastic, I felt. She goes from pretty much unlikable white chick to seriously like a really good protagonist that you can very much get behind. Like, to say the story in this movie is boring or easy, it's just not the case in this movie. Like, the story is just excellently done. There is loads of character development, and you really root for the main character in the end. I cannot praise the story enough in this movie, honestly. I'm just not doing it any justice, and I don't want to talk about it anymore because I'm spoiling it. In terms, though, of how much the shark is on screen, the shark really isn't on screen, like, at all. Other than the first few minutes and about the 45-minute mark, he starts showing up more than once or twice. But before then, he's just really not in it at all. And after the 45-minute, he's in it a lot. Like, I mean a lot. This movie, though, I gotta say, is really good at tensing up the shark coming. Like, it's ridiculous. While the shark might not necessarily be completely on screen, they are hyping it up. It's in the back of your head. It's there, and you know it's there. And so, while it might not be extremely prevalent, I gotta say, whenever the shark does show up in this movie, it really leaves a big impact. Many of these stupid shark movies, it'll be like humorous. It'll usually be humorous when the shark gets hyped up, but in this movie, it is not funny. It is very serious, and honestly, it made me tense up because it was just so not funny at all. When it's on screen, it's just fucking scary, to be honest. This is honestly how you have a shark in not even that much of the movie, but you make its presence felt. Like, when it finally does show up, it just scares the shit out of you. It's fucking scary. So when it comes to the kills that the shark gets, the shark kills a very few amount of anything. But it is most certainly quality over quantity here. So while it doesn't go on a rampage here like in many other shark movies, I will say that the kills in this movie are not only extremely just scary and fucked up, but they're just borderline disturbing. I don't want to spoil any of them, so I'm actually going to stop talking about the shark kills because they were just very disturbing and I was very shook by all of them. When it comes to the CGI, I have to say, this shark, if you look at it, it's probably the best looking shark I've ever seen in a movie. I'm serious though. This movie did have a massive budget, so I mean there's that to consider, but it's kind of expected, but it's probably the best looking shark I've ever seen, though, in a movie. Like, I'm serious. It just looks fucking real. It just makes a joke out of all these other shark movies I've been looking at with the horrible CGI. Like, this shark just looks real. This brings me to the acting in the movie. Now, the main character, her acting is just beyond phenomenal. Like, it is just not even, it's just beyond words, honestly. It's that good. Like, nothing compares to it. She does an excellent job. I'll give her a fucking Oscar. I'm serious. This is probably the best acting I've ever seen in a shark movie next to Jaws. It does that wonderful of a job. Going from that kind of annoying main character to someone that you can really root for and give a shit about. Acting just, it doesn't get any better than this in these kind of movies. There are a few other characters in the movie, and they're obviously nowhere near as good in terms of quality as the main one, but they get the job done. They're good for the small snippets that they're there. Like, the acting was just beyond excellent, and anything else would be an understatement, honestly. So overall, what did I think of the movie? Well, this may be, I know this sounds crazy, but this might be the best shark movie I've ever seen. I know that just might sound like crazy because I've been reviewing so many bad movies, so when I get a good one, it's like, whoa. But this movie is actually just fucking phenomenal. Like, this is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It was extremely tense. The acting was It was just awesome. The production values were actually there. Like, it was just amazing. Everything was amazing about this movie. Like, this movie is actually scary as fuck. It's extremely brutal. It made me bite my teeth and cringe just from how intense it was. Not the bad cringe. It was just ridiculously good. If I had to recommend one shark movie over pretty much everything that I've looked at so far, this is my number one pick, even above Sharknado. It is not exactly comparable to the other movies I've been reviewing. I mean, for instance, Sharknado had a $2 million budget. This movie had a $25 million budget. So it's got a bigger budget. So it's kind of expected, I guess. But this movie is just a must watch. If you're a sharkaholic, if you like shark flicks, and you haven't seen it, I don't know what you're doing. Like, just stop. Just stop doing whatever you're doing for a little bit and watch this movie. It's totally worth it. It really goes above and beyond and is not only extremely intense with really good acting, but it makes you want to not go anywhere near fucking water. I sure as hell don't want to go surfing anytime soon because of this movie. It's just that fucking scary. And that's why on the shark scale, I think, I'm sorry guys, I can't put it on the shark scale. My rule with the shark scale is that the movie's budget cannot be over $10 million. $10 million is due to inflation how much Jaws cost. My shark scale, it can't go over $10 million, and this movie goes over $10 million. If it goes over $10 million, it automatically gets disqualified. If it gets disqualified, that usually means it's really good, because it has really good production value. And I've only been able to find maybe one or two other movies that would actually get disqualified off my shark scale. So because it's disqualified and no longer on the shark scale, I guess I'm gonna have to just say that it's fantastic. It's no longer on the shark scale, it's just an excellent movie all around. If it was on the shark scale, I'd give it a 5, I'd give it a 6, 7, it doesn't matter. It's just that damn good. This may be the best shark movie ever made. I'm not even exaggerating. I cannot give it as much praise as it even deserves. It even won an Academy Award. It's so people also know how fucking good this movie is. Like, it's easily the best shark movie in the last, decade. Not even just decade. Ever. The only comparable one really is Jaws itself. It's just awesome. I'm really wow, I'm just out of words. That's how good it is. Just do yourself a favor and watch this movie. You'll thank me later. I would love to talk about this movie so much more in depth, but I'm not going to because you need to watch it. It's that good. So please watch the movie. It's hella good. And stay the fuck away from the water. I mean, just stay away.